Okay, we're on the east side of the house, the home, the structure. The small garage on the east exterior wall out by the driveway and the entryway. And this is where the electric service comes in, and it comes in below grade. This is I like this. This pipe is sleeved, so if there's some movement, it doesn't cause pressure on the box. That's a nice thing. They've done an unusually well job of sealing around the perimeter to help prevent moisture from getting in. That's also a good thing. Now this is the main service disconnect. It's 200 amps. We got our little rubber plastic neoprene booties right there. Right now they're required on L1 and L2 coming into the house. We're going to go around to the service panel, the load center, sub panel, call it what you will. We're going to go around there and you're going to see that they're not there. They're not required there. So this is everything here is just about textbook. About the only thing that I can complain about, and I love to complain, everybody knows that, is that the grounding rod should have been buried. Now I know it's only 3 inches. It's supposed to be an 8-foot grounding rod. Good luck on that. We're just going to take their word for it. But it should have been better buried. That's kind of incidental, the amount that's coming up there, by the way. But it doesn't make it right. This is the dead front for it. I put it over here because it was so muddy I couldn't set it down. So we'll just kind of put this. Well, you know what? I'll just carry it around with me like I had the brains I was born with. How about that? Coming inside the smaller garage on the east wall, this is the load center. Some people call it the sub panel. Call it what you will. What we've got here is we're looking for, basically we're looking for problems. There shouldn't be more than an 1/8 of an inch gap between the cabinet and the wall. See, this cabinet cover, dead front cover, fits right on top, see? And that leaves this gap right in here between the cabinet and here. This cover is supposed to fit flush next to this cabinet, not inside like that. And that compromises. This cabinet is supposed to hold, sparks and fire in case something melts down, and it's supposed to. Shouldn't have dust and debris in the cabinet. I know I'm getting kind of picky, so let's see what we can really talk about. Oh my goodness, people are just calling me and calling me. Man, I tell you what. Sometimes I knew better than to make a donation. I knew better than to make a donation. All right, but I'm glad I did. This cabinet is screwed in with drywall screws. Drywall screws, that's the only thing holding it in. If this structure was to experience a tornado, for example, and your whole house your garage gets blowed up, you've already got a bad day, I get that. But if this cabinet had been nailed in or have had proper screws, proper fasteners securing it, then they wouldn't pop like that. It would pop like a pimple. And then the first responders are coming in, they're stepping over the sparky box. If it was screwed in, it might be still stuck to some wood or some timber. It wouldn't, things wouldn't get scattered like they are. So whoever did this, they left a big gap. Oh, but that's new construction. That's new construction. Well, all I know is a kid from Hawk Electronics, who's like every bit of 17 years old, put stereo in the dash of that car, and it looks like it came from the factory. It looks like it was made with the car. And I know that 17-year-old kid, had a lot more on his mind, what is going to happen on Friday night, with his buds or with his girlfriend or whatever. I hope so. So I know he had a lot more on his mind than a 35-year-old electrician. Okay, I know he had a lot more on his mind than a 35-year-old drywall guy. I know that if they can do that in my car dash, this new construction could be made to look like new construction in a good and workmanlike manner. I just know that. Okay, so we got the wrong kind of screws and we got the gaps. What else we got? Well, we got some things. Now, we do not have to have the neoprene covers on L1 and L2. Remember that? Okay, eventually they will, but for the time being, no. For the time being, no, that's not the case. So what are we going in here? We got our neutral wires. Okay. These are ground wires. And you can put 2 ground wires on one lug because they're only there for an emergency. But neutral completes the circuit. Neutral completes the circuit because power just like these. Okay? We've double lugged our neutrals over here. Alright? You shouldn't double lug your neutrals. Look, you didn't have room to do it right. You've got all kinds of room to do it right. It's almost like they went out of their way. I mean, it looks to me like it was almost more trouble to do it wrong than to do it right. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So what did we learn? Oh, we learned that, see where it says Eden? This is printed. See where it says UL listed? It says printed. See where it says danger? That's printed. This is handwriting. This is handwriting. The manufacturer, the cabinet manufacturer, and code both specify that it should be printed. See where it says 2468? Okay? Printed. Specifies it should be printed. I didn't make that up. I didn't wake up this morning and wonder how I was going to piss off the builder. I really didn't do that. You know, but it is what it is. Is the dryer still going to work? Is the AC still going to work? Are these things going to? Yes, it's still going to work. But it should have been printed. So the labeling should have been printed. We shouldn't have had double lug neutrals. We shouldn't have debris in our cabinet. We shouldn't have gaps in our cabinet. Our cabinet shouldn't have been screwed in with drywall screws. And the grounding rod could have been better buried.